let's get into it. So, the song you just listened to is my original song called The Tragedy. I wrote this song probably 3 or 4 months ago. I had just gone to a Goo Goo Dolls concert and was feeling very much inspired by their style and thought, you know, maybe I could do something like that. I remember sitting in my room with the intent of just messing around, you know, not really trying to write anything. So I decided to play around with a few different tunings, and I came up with F-A-D, I don't know, I'll put it somewhere on here. I ended up coming up with a fun little melody, but the original song is much different than the one you hear now, the one that I recorded in the studio and the one that I perform live, just because when I'm sitting down for the creative process, I don't let the restrictions of time signatures and trying to fit in what I want to say into the meter. I kind of throw all the rules out the window and just sit down, and whatever comes to my mind, I'll write it. I decided to play it for my parents. Every time I write a song, I always play it for my parents before I play it for anybody else. They really loved it. It was different from something I had ever done before. There was a lot of harmonics, complicated-ish rhythms, complicated for me at least. I've always struggled with rhythms. The first time I performed this song was for a very small open mic, and I was so nervous. I usually am not super nervous. I don't think I'm that nervous going up on stage and performing anymore, but this time my hands were shaking so bad, and in my head I wasn't thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm so scared, but you could see it in my posture and in my body language that I was really nervous. I played it and I got through it, but with this one it was a lot more, and I wasn't used to it. I wasn't used to having to think about anything, and I was counting in my head, and I was thinking about, okay, what fret does this next finger go on, and is this the right note, or what's coming next after what I'm playing right now? And I've gotten to the point now, because I played it enough and I performed it enough, that it comes a lot more naturally now, I guess you could say. Now, the musical aspect of this, now there's a lot of like getting really loud and then getting really quiet, the crescendos and the decrescendos. I love it when I'm especially when I'm in front of a crowd and I'm playing this song. I have my guitar, and I'm getting really loud and really into it, and all of a sudden it just gets really quiet. And you can feel the build up, and you know something big is gonna happen next, and you're just waiting and you're waiting, and then I get to it and everyone lights up and they're bobbing their heads, and it's a really, really special moment. There is something so meaningful in getting to see other people react to your music live in front of you as you're playing it for them. Now, words. I kept the words to a minimum. There just isn't a lot of variation when it comes to them. I really just wanted to put emphasis on the music itself. But I also kept the words to a minimum because I wanted what I did say to have an impact, and I wanted people to remember it. I really love when either the words tell a story, which is usually what I do. I usually tell a story with the words. But in this one, I really felt like I was telling the story with the music. And the words are worship-based. It's about being in the space of struggle and knowing that God is going to get you out of it, but you just can't see it. At the end of the song, it's like, oh, finally, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Like, God made this promise. He said he was going to get me through this, and he did. Something that's really important to me in my songwriting is always coming to a resolution at the end of the song. I hate not coming to a solution. You know, sometimes that is what makes the story, is not having a resolution, but I still want there to be a narrative. Let's see. The last thing I'm going to talk about pertaining to the tragedy is the recording process. I knew that I wanted to record this song, and if that was going to happen, I needed to do it in a professional setting. To prepare for that, I also knew I needed to practice with a metronome, and I dreaded this so much. I didn't want anything to do with a metronome, so I spent hours practicing the song with the metronome. It was definitely a process preparing to go into the studio, but once I was in there, I knew I was well prepared. And with that being said, that concludes everything I wanted to talk about on The Tragedy. I am so happy that you stayed and watched the whole thing. Thank you so very much, and I look forward to seeing you later. The song, The Tragedy, will be coming out following my single, You're Grown, which that comes out November 4th. So if you liked what you heard here, go make sure to listen to that one. Both of these songs are out on SoundCloud right now. So if you have SoundCloud, you can go ahead and give them a listen if you would like. If you want to see more, make sure to check out my other videos. Subscribe, like, and follow me on Instagram, and I will see you next time.